Welcome back to the Time and Place podcast. My name's Brett. Mosey, he's not here, but he's still telepathically telling me what to do and say. Jacob, he's not here, but that's okay. He'll be here one day when we get back together. Today is my 3-month recovery. October 30th, I got sober. Today's January 30th, so that makes 3 months. Not bad. So this video is just kind of be like a recap on kind of how I feel about being sober for 3 months. I feel good. And it's all thanks to this book right here. This is the NA book. I was gifted this book at my first ever NA meeting. And I remember when I first received the book and I was kind of walking around with it, I felt like ashamed to be holding it, but now I read it with pride, and it's like I read the first chapter and it just was talking straight to me. It called me out, and I was like, yep, I'm definitely an addict. I wanted to I highlighted some stuff. I'm not going to read the entire chapter, but I do want to kind of just read these brief highlights. So I'll just start. Very simply, an addict is a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. Every moment of every single day of my life over the last 10 years was surrounded around the consumption of drugs and alcohol. As addicts, we are people who use of any mind-altering, mood-changing substance causes a problem in any area of life. It caused a problem in every area of my life. Our disease was present long before Our disease was present long before the first time we used. Meaning, we're born addicts. We don't use a drug and then become an addict. We're addicts when we're born. It's like in our genes, and then it's just off to the races from after the first use. Only in desperation did we ask ourselves, could it be the drugs? And that couldn't be more true. Over the course of my life, I always would have the thought to get sober, but I wasn't truly desperate enough until I actually did. And it was only in that true desperation that I need to make a change, and I needed to do something to improve my quality of life, and getting sober was just that. Anything not completely familiar became alien and dangerous. Fucking being intoxicated and being high on drugs became familiar, so therefore, sober moments, I never had a sober day in the last 10 years, but sober moments were this doesn't feel right, this is alien. We were caught in the grip of our disease. Self-explanatory. We dreamed of finding a magic formula that would solve our ultimate problem, ourselves. I found that magic formula 7 different times. I thought, if you just smoke a little bit of weed and eat a few magic mushrooms, over the course of the day, you'll be unstoppable. That's just straight delusional, man. But yeah, and that's what everyone who does drugs are they're trying to find this concoction that just fixes them. And maybe for a moment it might feel like it did. And then you come down and you realize, now I'm even worse off than when I first started. Drugs cease to make us feel good. I don't know when this happened. For the pot, pot was great for maybe the first 2-3 years, and then after that it just became maintenance. It was just maintenance. It wasn't a feel good thing. It was just, I have to do this to feel okay. And a lot of the drugs became that way. Even mushrooms, which as powerful as they are, at one point they were just felt normal. Living skills reduced to the animal level, meaning I ate, I shit, I sleep, and I do drugs. That was all it was. The capacity to feel human was lost. After 10 days of sobriety, I was I feel like an actual human being again, and not this broken computer. That person, we were constantly searching for the answer, that person, place, or thing that would make everything all right. We lack the ability to cope with daily living. Always. I was always searching for something. When now I know that that something I was searching for was just myself, my my inner self, taking care of my inner self. We wanted an easy way out. Yeah, I thought if I smoked this, inhale that, drink that, pop that, that'd be my easy way out, and it just ruined everything. Uh, we were trapped in the illusion of what if only, and just one more time. Yeah, when I was like maybe like a month before I actually went to rehab, every day I told myself, this is the last time I'm smoking pot. And then 30 minutes later, this is the last time I'm smoking pot. And then like 30 minutes later, this is the last, like, it was just a never ending, this is the last time, and it never was the last time until it truly was. Hmm. We were only looking for the absence of pain. Yeah. Our track record shows that it's impossible for us to use successfully. And that's why I can't use anything ever again, because moderation for an addict is like this foreign idea that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as moderation in my mind. I'm all or nothing. It's if I use one time, it's gonna create the craving, and then it's just I'm gonna use 1,000 more times, so I just can't use ever again. Many of us did not think that we had a problem with drugs until the drugs ran out. Yeah, when I had a full ounce of weed in a jar, everything was fucking good. The moment that ounce ran out, and I'm scraping through the carpet for little, you know, that's when I was like, whoa, like I look like an addict right now. I'm going through dirty carpet trying to find just some little speck of weed to smoke. We noticed that if we tried to stop using, we couldn't. I remember I used to go through my notes app and just type out like the Bart Simpson's chalkboard. I would type out, Brett, stop doing drugs today. Brett, stop doing drugs today. Brett, stop doing drugs today. And then an hour later, I'd go do drugs. At some point, our usage became uncontrollable and antisocial. That was really actually very early on for me. I think like within my first year or two of smoking pot, at first it was a social thing to do, and then it became I get high in my house by myself and then hang out in my room and do that for years on end. Um, Complete spiritual, mental, and emotional bankruptcy. I didn't even know spirituality was real. I thought doing mushrooms was spiritual, but we had to reach our bottom before we were willing to stop. Yeah. I'm so thankful for my rock bottom and reaching it when I reached it, because if it wasn't for that rock bottom, I'd still be in the same habits. 3 months later, today, I'd be getting high and getting drunk if it wasn't for that absolute rock bottom. Some of us first saw the effects of addiction on the people closest to us. We were very dependent on them to carry us through life. We felt angry, disappointed, and hurt when they found other interests, friends, and loved ones. We regretted the past. This is big. We regretted the past, dreaded the future, and we weren't too thrilled about the present. Regretted the past, dreaded the future, and we weren't too thrilled on the present. When I read that for the first time, I was like, oh, so like, that's how we all feel, all us people with drug addiction. But now, I no longer regret any of my past. In fact, I love my past. I wouldn't change a fucking thing, and that's powerful. The future is something that excites me now, and my present is all I got. So I've come a long way. Our addiction enslaved us entirely, financially, with our time. My day was just sitting around, when am I going to get high? When am I going to get drunk? Like, when am I going to use? Once we identify ourselves as addicts, help becomes possible. I remember I was in a meeting, and it was like the first time we were going around saying our names and that we were addicts, and like I was like, my name's Brett, and I'm an addict. And I like said it with a question mark, and they were like, are you sure? I was like, I don't, yeah, I am. But I said it with like shame, like Brett, and I'm an addict. But now I'm like, Brett, I'm an addict, and it's my fucking superpower now. Our future seemed hopeless until we found clean addicts who were willing to share with us. Denial of our addiction kept us sick, but our honest admission of addiction enabled us to stop using. Yeah, it wasn't until you actually admitted you're an addict before it became possible to like deal with it. And if they could do it, so could we. Because dude, I was in group and I'd meet like this one speaker came in. He was like using crack from the age of 10, and he got clean. So if he got clean off of crack after fucking growing up on it, I could get clean off of weed and alcohol and mushrooms and cocaine, you know? Unfortunately, our disease makes us deny our addiction. That's fucking facts. I remember when I first got to rehab, I was lying to myself. But it wasn't me lying to myself. It was my addiction that just wanted me to keep using. That was lying to me. Each day we are given another chance. We are convinced that there is only one way for us to live, and that is the NA way. So if you're struggling with addiction, I highly recommend picking up an NA book. And just if you read the first chapter and it doesn't speak to you, maybe you're not an addict. Maybe it's not for you. But if you read the first chapter and it talks to you, read the rest of the book. Fucking geese. That's today's video. 3 months of sobriety. It's been my greatest accomplishment. I just want to kind of spread awareness. Not awareness, but just, I don't know, I want to make sobriety look cool. And with time and place, I think that's possible. If you're young, because remember I thought to myself, like, oh, I'm only 23 at the time. Like, why would I get sober now? Like, I could do it later. Find your rock bottom, become desperate, and then get sober. Your rock bottom's gonna suck in the moment, but your normal, regular day already sucks in the moment. I'm proud of myself. 3 months of sobriety. On my own. Like, I'm not legally, I don't have any legal, the court's not telling me to do this, it was just me. And for that, I'm pretty fucking proud. Being sober for 3 months has given me the opportunity to free my mind of the obsession. I no longer obsess over drugs and alcohol, and it's given me the capacity to actually think about things that matter. And I've become a lot more thoughtful and a lot more just myself again. Even currently, like I'm like meeting myself every day. I'm like, because I was a shell of a person for 10 years, and now I feel whole. Do I still think about getting drunk or high? Surprisingly not. I even like hang out with people who, use and party, and I just kind of watch them with fascination. Like, that's cool. Especially the ones that can do it, and their life is still manageable. I'm like, that's cool. You can fucking, use a substance and like not obsess over it. But I can't do that, and that's okay. I get high off life, like, and that shit sounds so corny, but it's so true. I wake up early in the morning and I watch the sunrise, and it's better than any blunt I ever smoked. It's the simple things, it's the little things in life that really get me excited now. I have like a deep appreciation for life that I never did before. I took it for granted. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.